Hello, everybody. I'm Cassie DeWhitt of Reach for the Stars, and I'd like to welcome you to the second session of the Motivation Ministry. The Motivation Ministry encourages individuals to dig inside themselves, get in touch with their gifts and talents, and walk into their purpose for God. We have a special guest here today, Mr. R. Hodges, founder and president of Education of Life Academy. He's an accomplished historian of African American studies and the founder of the Black Achievement Fund. Welcome, Mr. Hodges. So great to have you here with us today.
Thank you. I'm great to be here. Thank you for having me on. I think this is a great program for you guys, for us in general. So I'm happy to be here.
All right.
We all need motivation time after time.
Yes. Okay, tell us, Archie, what is the Black Achievement Fund?
The Black Achievement Fund is a national Black nonprofit economic and community development agenda dedicated solely to rebuilding Black communities. We have a very simple solution for Black economic independence, and that is we're seeking 10 million Black people to contribute $9 a month to the Black Achievement Fund, which would generate over $1 billion a year to fund this comprehensive Black economic and community development agenda that I'm speaking of. So that is what we're about. That's our solution. And thank you for joining. I just wanted to plug that. A little selfish plug, but that's what the Black Achievement Fund is. And that's what our campaign is currently seeking to accomplish.
Wow. That's a huge calling. Tell us, Archie, what inspired you to develop or create the Black Achievement Fund?
I think I was being groomed for this particular challenge at a very early age, although I didn't recognize as much. I grew up in the projects in Norfolk, Virginia. My dad was on heroin. My mom ended up being on crack, and I myself sold crack, heroin, cocaine, or what have you, and I was shot, and my right arm was paralyzed. And as the doctor was telling me that my arm was paralyzed, a vision rose up at the edge of the hospital bed. It was like a mist, and I couldn't discern whether or not it was male or female, even the voice. But the voice said that I didn't put you in the projects for you to succumb to death. You were put there to learn some very critical things that you're going to need for the next thing that I want you to do. Listen to what I'm saying to you. Follow my voice. Don't chase money, and you're going to get your arm back. And it vanished. And I swear to you, at that moment, I knew that I would get my arm back. And I knew that what that voice was saying, that there was a lot of merit to it. Because I didn't find any pleasure in being in the streets and hustling and things like that. I saw it as a way out of a poverty situation. And also as a way to help my family, which a lot of young kids did. But I ended up in that trap. But that's what really turned me around. I moved out of the Norfolk area to Northern Virginia, got my GED, and started community college and was able to transfer to the University of Virginia and on and on and on.
Wow, that's powerful. I feel a high calling in what you told me. Now, this requires a calling of this magnitude, requires great ambition. So tell me, how do you renew your courage on a regular basis to continue this journey? Because this is a journey.
It most certainly is. We've been at this for 20 years now. So I first conceptualized the Black Achievement Fund in 1996. And we started working on the plan, the business plan and everything in 1997. So we've been at this for a long time, and it's very, very, very lonely work. And you would expect with an idea that is as simple as the Black Achievement Fund. I mean, who would think to get 10 million Black people to contribute $9 a month to a fund that will go strictly to helping to rebuild Black communities will be a hard sell. I think what keeps me motivated is our ancestors and my faith in God. I know for a fact that this is what I was meant to be doing. And over the years, God has confirmed it in so many ways that I couldn't escape it. You know, so even at this point, if I wanted to give up, I wouldn't be able to. You know, so I would say God and the power and the wisdom of our ancestors that I studied.
Don't make me preach or shout up here, because I'm feeling this. I'm feeling this. So let me ask you, and I know there are many, but what do you think is the greatest obstacle or challenge you have to overcome for blacks, for our people in the masses to see this vision and come aboard? What is the greatest obstacle to overcome?
Steve Biko, great freedom fighter from South Africa, said one of the most profound quotes regarding Black liberation. He said, "The greatest weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the minds of the oppressed." Do 10 million people, Black people, have $9 a month to contribute to the Black Achievement Fund? Yes. So we know that money isn't the issue. So we know that money isn't the issue, then what can it be? What would prevent 10 million people from consciously operating against their own self-interest? That's what we're dealing with here. And that is the mind. We've been conditioned to believe that we can't accomplish anything of great magnitude. We've been conditioned to believe that we can't unite, even though there's absolutely no proof or evidence to any of this. You know, as a historian, I can point you back to our period of enslavement. Do you know how many Black people would pick up your slack if you were just exhausted and couldn't take it that day, or maybe experiencing, your son or daughter just got sold off and you weren't going to work no more? Do you know how many people would pick up the slack so that you wouldn't get whipped? Do you know how many Black people helped you escape, help other Black peoples escape? All of the Black revolutions and resurrections that were planned. If, as a Black person, you believe that we've made it this far in America on individual effort, you're crazy. We've made it this far through unity. And that is the sole purpose why there's so much propaganda put out against us being able to unite. Because those who form against us know that the ultimate weapon that we have is our unity, is the fact that we have the capability of operating as one. And that's not to say that we all think alike. The Black Achievement Fund embraces people who may be Republican, Independent, Democrat, Baptist, Presbyterian, Muslim, atheist. We don't care about any of those things because the programs and services that we have are created to empower not only the Black community, but Black individuals. But to go back to the question, what is the most difficult challenge in getting Black people to embrace this idea? Again, it's our mind. So many people in this era want instant gratification. And here's a program that offers instant gratification. Right now, overnight, if 10 million Black people contribute $9 one time overnight, we would wake up to $90 million. And we do that the next month. That's another $90 million. You do that 12 times, that's $1.08 billion. What can you do with $1.08 billion? Go to the Black Achievement Fund's website at www.baf.solutions, not .com, not .org, but .solutions, and go to our programs and services. We've had 12 program departments that range from health and wellness to small business to banking and financial services, food and agriculture, culture and community, you name it. And some of our programs from our health and wellness department will be constructed dental clinics in which the Black Achievement Fund builds the dental clinic. The Black Achievement Fund pays for all of the equipment in the dental clinic. The Black Achievement Fund pays the salaries of the dentists, the dental assistants, and all the support staff. So when you go into that dental clinic, you're going to get whatever you need done, and you're not going to have to pay one dime. Why? Your money already paid for everything. Now, if you already have insurance, we're going to take your insurance. But if your insurance doesn't cover any procedure that you need or want, you will still be able to get that. And all of this is covered within your $9. So
what I'm hearing, Auntie, you can't afford not to join, not to be a member.
Exactly.
The program is so comprehensive.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
It was something I was thinking as you were talking. Oh, about the mindset. Will BAF be sometime or currently doing some kind of education training? You know, some of us, we just didn't get all of this Black history. We don't know that we were kings and queens, and we just don't know our history enough to unite and overcome this mindset. So would there be any training and seminars?
I'm glad you asked that. Definitely.
Okay.
So for the Black Achievement Fund, we're going to be doing presentations. And we're going to be doing presentations on each one of our departments. And within those presentations, we'll be educating on that particular aspect of Black community development or economic development. But beyond that, I developed the Education for Life Academy, which you mentioned, before I did the Black Achievement Fund. And the Education for Life Academy has an online curriculum that begins with the origins of humanity in Africa 200,000 years ago, as opposed to beginning with slavery. And this curriculum essentially represents the missing pages of world history, of African history, which Dr. John Henry Clark would like to say, who was one of our great historians. But all of the things that we're talking about, or that you may have heard about in terms of Black people used to be kings and queens and all of those things, that's not a myth. Those things are real. And that's the only reason why no culture on the planet teaches ancient Egyptian, which is ancient Kemetic history. No one teaches that. And we all know that ancient Egypt created the greatest civilization known to man. They have created feats that no one can duplicate today. And yet we don't study them. Why? Because no other group can claim them. If they could claim them, you would be hearing about the ancient Egyptians every single day. That is our legacy. That is an African legacy. And that is the source of all world knowledge. So one of the things that I did prior to the launch of the Black Achievement Fund was to make sure that I was able to put forth all of the information that transformed my mindset into a curriculum so that Black people had access to it. And I wanted to do it in a way that wasn't reliant upon us having it in the school system. Okay, so Education for Life Academy is www.educationforlifeacademy, F-O-R, not the number 4. And all of our classes are $1.99. They include teaching guides with the quiz for every class, along with the quiz answers. They also come with study guides for every class. They come with, documentaries. They come with newspaper articles, free ebooks, you name it, all for $1.99. And if you buy a whole unit at one time, which is $19.99, the classes equal 99 cents a class. And there's an introductory unit entitled The Politics of Education, Propaganda or Enlightenment. And there are 4 classes to the intro unit. and they discuss the idea of our education being centered around propaganda as opposed to being centered on real facts. And omission, leaving out whole chunks of history, is a lie. So that's what has been done to us. Who we really are has been left out of world history. And the powers that be want our history to begin with slavery. They want it to begin with 1619. They want us detached completely from the continent of Africa. So we have to begin to understand all the ways in which we've been tricked into operating against our own best interests. So Education for Life Academy is one of those ways, and we're going to be doing these presentations. We're also going to be having other interviews like this, podcasts and things like that. But the education piece is definitely critical, and that's why we're doing a nationwide campaign.
Wow, this is so exciting. It's so dynamic. But I know whenever a new ideology develops or comes